A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. And I'm just looking behind me. We've had an exciting day here today. We have a new modem, which is giving us twice the download speed, or three times almost, that we have had, and a decent upload. And we are assured that it will be a lot more stable than it was, because we actually have a satellite extender type gizmo here in the radio room, which is meant to talk to the modem in the other room. It is all go here, and David has a new reconditioned laptop. So boy, just at the end of the season, and now we're ready for next year. It's actually a decent day, sort of. The wind has been up and down in various directions. Currently we only have 20% cloud cover here, and it's what is it? It's 21 degrees. It's amazing. 21 degrees, 14 knots, and it's west-southwest at the moment, and the bar is 1015. It looks as if it's slightly dropping, and we don't have a very pleasant outlook, but it's pretty decent at the moment, so no problem. Kuaka arrived today into Kiribati, South Tara, Betio, to call it what you like. I would say it would be a lot hotter there. They are just above the equator, 1 degree 21 north and 17255 east. So very historical area in terms of World War II interest. And I'm not sure how long they're going to be staying there, but they've all checked into the area. So I guess they'll be doing quite a lot of exploring. The Minerva report from Pogean, 4:45 today, 10 knots south-southeast. 2 metre outside, southeast, pretty reliable 2 metres there, isn't there? 20% cloud cover and 1014. And 2 boats left today, Coral Moon and Morning Star. And the 9 that are left are Va, Odyssey, Merryweather, Pagean of course, Ewa, Donella, Mare, Tango and Yana. So we'll have to see what David has got for the outlook and what people are going to be wanting to do one way or the other on their trip to New Zealand. So I'm going to pass the microphone, and I'll be listening too.
Alrighty, good evening, and we'll have just a quick look at the surface synopsis for lunchtime tomorrow. Now, I know you all want to hear what my opinion is of your trip south. I'll get to that, so just hang in there. The New Zealand depression will have moved just to the east of Cook Strait, almost to the Chathams, not quite. On either side of New Zealand and of this depression are 2 highs, both quite strong, 1033 millibar for one and 1031 millibar for the one in the Tasman. Now, one ridges to the northeast, the other one ridges to the northwest, and the 2 air masses come together just east of the dateline. So, as you all know by now, air masses don't mix. They clash, and of course that results in convective activity. So on the surface maps, we see a variety of fronts. The main one of interest runs to 30 and 170 west, 30 and 170 west. It's running from that low that I talked about. Then it curves and it runs up to about 22 south and the dateline. Now the trough affects Tonga with light to moderate easterly winds, obviously cloudy periods, scattered showers, some rain, some heavy, some thunderstorms. Then on to Fiji goes the trough, east to southeast 15 to 20 for tomorrow. Thunderstorm as well, thunderstorms. And looking at Tongatapu, for those that are still there and didn't go to Minerva, east to northeast winds about 10 to 15 and rising up to 20 at times. At Minerva, southeast winds 10 to 15 and also rising to about 20 knots occasionally. Seas about 2 meters. So pretty much what Pagean has reported on their 5 o'clock email summary. So, and about the same forecast for the following day as well. So we're looking at Thursday and Friday. Now, for the New Zealand bound gaggle of yachts, we'll call it a gaggle, because Trish and I, as you all know, I think are both pilots, so we like to think in terms of gaggles. And guessing ahead to the 26th, out to, I just picked the 28th, and that's approaching New Zealand. So I'm looking at what the winds are going to do as you approach New Zealand between the 26th and the 28th. So what's there? That small high that I talked about yesterday, and I think the day before, still seems to be merrily rotating just west of Cape Reinga. So the winds near Opua or Marsden, wherever you're going, are going to be quite variable. Now, give you an idea, Pagean, I had mentioned they were looking at EC. Well, I'm looking at more than EC, but just to give you an idea, on the 27th, Wednesday, if you were going into Whangarei, EC looks like southwest 9, GFS northeast 5. If you got in on Thursday, EC south 4, GFS southeast 2. Coming in Friday, EC southwest 12, GFS northeast 8. And then if you were coming into Opua on Wednesday, EC west 8, GFS northeast 4. Thursday, EC north 10, GFS northeast 7. And Friday, EC northwest 9, GFS northwest 11. Yeah, I'm out of breath. So as you can see, the models are not in agreement. These are just 2. I've looked at 4, and none of them are in agreement. And to tell you the truth, we're looking out too far. So whether or not that high intensifies, gets bigger, moves, all of that is going to have a function of what your winds are going to be. Prior to getting to New Zealand, most of the winds are going to be southeasterly quadrant. So you're going to have a pretty good sail up to maybe 32, 33 south. And then you're going to get into the influence of whatever that little high decides to do. So I guess as far as when you leave, it really doesn't matter from what I could see, whether you leave today or you leave tomorrow or the next day. Getting there by the 28th is certainly doable, leaving at any of those days. So some of you, I think, maybe a little bit too much of a purist idea in that you feel you have to sail right into your mooring. Well, I'll tell you what, people would kill to have a passage like this. This is an outstanding opportunity to get to New Zealand. And right at the very end, we always worry about that, but for a different reason. We're always worried about fronts and depressions, not this time. So be thankful. And if you have to turn on that motor, boy, just do it. And sooner you do it, quicker the beer comes, or the wine, or whatever. So anyway, that's it from me. Oh, one other interesting thing I was looking at. Looking at Tuesday, the 26th, I guess it is. Yeah, up in the Opua area, not Opua, sorry, up in the Tonga area, we have got a huge amount of wind building up, westerly, now they're easterly winds, and we're looking at 45 knots, and looking ahead from there, trying to see whether that's going to develop into a tropical cyclone or not. It does. One of the models has a semi-tropical cyclone. Another model has about the same thing. Another model does have circular isobars, but just to the southeast of Tongatapu is where that develops, and yeah, it's really quite an amazing amount of wind. So anyway, be thankful that most of you, I'm sure, will have left before that. So again, with that, here's the chief.
Okay, thank you for that. And nothing much to talk about the Kotanui Picasso group because they have just got perfect conditions for going west. Currently a lovely 10 to 12 from the east. Model said about 15 up to, but 10 to 12. 1.5 metre easterly swell and a little bit from the southeast. A lovely sunny day. They're on a course of 285 true at 5 to 6 knots, which they think is pedestrian, but boy, lovely and peaceful. And that's at around 15 degrees, 32 south and 15123 east. So it's going to be like this again tomorrow by the look of it, but then it will pick up. So all very good for the Kotanui Picasso families, and I'm sure they're enjoying it. Maybe even getting some schoolwork done in those sorts of conditions, I would imagine. Okay, well, there's not much more from here, and there's nobody else on streaming. I'm not going to give a call because propagation is really the pits at the moment. Well, maybe I should. This is Gulf Harbour Radio. Is there anybody out there? No, and it doesn't look like there will be anybody on that group that is left at Minerva that's going to be on the radio checking in, so I'm not sure what we'll be doing. We'll probably just be talking to Kotanui for the next few days. Anyway, cheers everybody. Have a very good evening. This is Gulf Harbour Radio Clear.